So let's just start reading immediately. Bismillah. The author says, وإنما فتحت ما قبل واو الضمير في غزوا ورموا وضممت ما قبلها في رضوا وسروا لأن واو الضمير إذا اتصلت بالفعل الناقص بعد حذف اللام فإن انفتح ما قبلها أبقي على الفتحة وإن انضم أو كسر ضم. Okay. He says, merely you give a fatha to what is before the wow of the pronoun, yani the wow pronoun. The one fi in ghazaw, this wow here. There's fatha before it. And ramo, same thing. There's that wow, there's fatha before it. You merely put a fatha before the wow pronoun in ghazaw and ramo, while damamta, and you put a dhamma on what is before it, before the wow, in radu. Same wow here, but there's dhamma in front of it. Wasaru and saru, same thing. Why? What made the difference here? Yani, I'm going to answer the question. The author's going to answer the question. Why is there an issue here? There's an issue here because this is fi'lun naqis, meaning the lam is erased from the verb. Erasing that lam makes an issue. Yani, a case, a mas'ala. So why we say ghazaw and ramal, we say radu and saru, we don't say ghazu, ramu, we don't say rado, saro. What makes the difference here? He tells you. Because when the wow, li'anna wow al-damir, because the wow, that's the pronoun, إذا اتصلت بالفعل الناقص, when it suffixes, connects to the back of the lacking verb, بعد حذف اللام, after erasing or deleting that lam, the last root letter. فإن انفتح ما قبلها, if what was before that lam had a fatha, the lam that you erased, if there was before ما قبلها, before the lam that you erased, if there was a fatha there, أبقي على الفتح على الفتحة أبقي على الفتحة, then it will be kept with the fatha. Yani, so you say it was Ramaya in origin. The ya flipped into an alif because of having a haraka and a fatha before it. So it becomes Rama. Then we want to add the wow, that's the pronoun, which is going to come along with its alif. This wow has sukun. This alif has sukun. You can't have two sukuns in a row. So then you're going to erase this alif here, which is the lam of the verb. This lam of the verb has a fatha before it. The result's going to be ramau. He says, وَإِنِ انضم, but if what was before that erased lam had a dhamma, أو kusir, or had a kasra, dum. Then the letter before the wow that's a pronoun is going to have a dhamma. Like, and he tells us right here. Radu is an example. And saru. But let's just keep reading right here. He says, wa aslu radu you. The origin of radu is radu you, and really it was radu you woo. He skipped a step here, if you remember. The author skipped a step here when he says the origin of radu is radu you, because the origin of radu you is radu you woo. The wow flipped into a ya, so he skipped that step. Nuqilat dhammatul ya'i ila dad. Then the dhamma on the ya was transported or relocated to the dad. So that's going to leave the ya with a sukoon. And the wow has sukoon. وحذفت الياء لالتقاء الساكنين. And then the ya was deleted because of the meeting of two sukoons. So it became radu. With a dhamma before the wow. MashaAllah. So what happened to saruwa? And now I'm reviewing with you. Saruwa. Okay. Then the wow wants to come. What? Would we flip the wow, this wow here, would we flip it into an alif? No. Because the rule is not here. لِتَحَرُّكِهَا وَانْفِتَاحِ مَا قَبْلَهَا is not here. For having a vowel and a fatha before it, in this case, there's a dhamma before the wow. So the rule is not here. So now the wow will not flip. It will stay firm. Tharwa. Now we want to connect the wow, that's the pronoun. It's going to come along with its alif. Now this wow has sukoon. There's going to be a dhamma here. Why does this wow go away? If we leave it, we would say saruwu, saruwu. Now, I don't remember the answer, but, and we're going to look now, inshallah. But just what comes to my mind, that the dhamma is heavy on the wow. So you're not going to say saruwu. So what will happen to it? Is it that the dhamma then will be itself removed, rendering the wow with a sukoon? Then you have two sukoons, then the first one goes away. Now I'm just thinking only. Didn't we cover that? Let's see. Bismillah. As if we didn't cover that. Sorry, we'll come back to that, inshallah. Let's find the answer for that. But for now, let's keep going. Any question?
Yeah, Ustad, I missed that last question. Yeah, because my son was screaming. I had to attend them. So the last thing that you were, I missed the last part when you said that something about reviewing this issue, and then I had to step for just like 1 minute. I missed. You
Okay.
were asking a question.
So, yeah, let me just back up a little bit. See what's the question here. Bismillah. So, the author, he dedicated a paragraph to explain the difference between ghazaw and ramaw, ghazaw being wawi, ramaw being ya'i, both of them having fatha before the waw. The difference between these two and radu and saru, and radu originally has a kasra there, radu you. Saru, the dhamma is there in the middle. Saruwa is the origin. How they came with a dhamma, radu, and saru. So he dedicated a paragraph here to talk about this difference. Uh, why one has fatha before it, why one has dhamma before it. Okay. Then what did he do? As if he explained only the first one. When he said the origin of radu is radu you, and then he told you what happened. What about saruwa? So he didn't say. And then I was just thinking, did we not even talk about that? Looks like we didn't even talk about that. And I'm saying to myself, what? How does the wow go away? I'm not sure. So I did just now take a quick look. I didn't see, and I don't want to pause now. So,
So, barakallahu fi.
I mean, Wafiq. So, inshallah, we'll see. Perhaps if Allah enables us, may Allah enable us to know the answer next week. I mean, Bismillah. So he goes on. May Allah have mercy on it. He says, وأما المضارع فتسكن الواو والياء والألف منه ف... فتسكن فتسكن الواو والياء والألف منه في الرفع وتحذف في الجزم وتفتح الواو والياء في النصب وتثبت الألف ساكنة وتثبت الألف ساكنة. He says, as for the mudari', the wow and the ya and the alif of it, we're talking about the last letter here, will have a sukun, fil rafa, in the, what do they call that voice? Which voice is that? In the state of rafa. So he's going to show us, but let me just show you now. So the mudari', like yafalu. So if the lam, the last root letter, is one of these three, wow or ya or alif, then that means you're looking at a verb that looks like yarmi. He throws or shall throw. And yad'u, he calls or shall call. And yakhfa or yakhsha. They usually say yakhsha actually. Yakhsha. See my ya over the kha there? That's not confusing you, inshallah. Here. That's a ya right there. There's the two dots. The ya is coming on top of the kha. Yakhsha. If you incorporate that into your writing, that's a good thing. This really is normal, but makes your handwriting look good too. So he says, as for the mudari', the wow or the ya or the alif from it will have sukoon. Yarmi, yadru, yakhsha. في الرفع. I'm forgetting the words now. Yani, when it's in a state of rafa, like usually we'll have a dhamma. You say yafa'alu, yafa'alu. He does. So as if it would be yarmiyu, yad'uwu. As for yakhsha, there's no way to put any vowel on there. Alif can never take a vowel. So you can only say yakhsha. When you say yarmi and yad'u, you're actually omitting a dhamma. Yes. This is one of the cases where Sarf and NaHw cross. When you learn NaHw, you take this lesson here too. وتحذف في الجزم, but if there were the state of Jazm, if they were in the state of Jazm, then those letters will be omitted. This is going to show us. Yani, you say, for example, you would say yafa'alu. That's this dhamma means in a state of rafa' here. He does. It's basically default case, default case. There's nothing coming in front of the verb to make it have other than a dhamma. So originally you would have said yarmiyu and yad'u and but yakhsha, there's no way to put a dhamma there. Only in your heart that dhamma is there. There's no way to bring it from your tongue in the case of the alif. So the Arabs simply erased these dhammas. For yakhsha wasn't there anyway. Because you are physically able to say yarmiyu, yad'u, but they erased them. Why? للثقل for heaviness. It's heavy on the tongue to say yarmiyu, yad'u. So they simply don't say it. Okay, that's simple enough. That's what he's saying so far. وتحذف في الجزم. But in the state of jazm, they will be erased. So you'd say for yaf'al, if we were to do the state of jazm, you'd say lam. That's the jazm particle here. Lam yaf'al. Perhaps you knew. With the sukoon on the lam. Yaf'al is affecting, lam is affecting yaf'al, putting it into a state of jazm. As for this kind of verb, you're going to say lam yarm. Lam yarm. Stopping on the sukoon. In Arabic, you stop on the sukoon. Lam yarm. This means the whole last letter is erased or deleted. And lam yada'. And lam yakhsh. And I'm sure you noticed that I did keep the haraka, although I removed the letter. Yes. Because it doesn't erase that haraka, just erase the letter. That haraka is evidence for the letter that was there. So this right here is a NaHw lesson. يعني مسألة نحوية صرفية. A NaHw / Sarf case. وتحذف في الجزم. They will be erased in the state of jazm. وتفتح الواو والياء في النصب. But in the state of nasb, how would it be? So if you had yaf'al, let's say len, or let's say uridu, I want, uridu, and to, I want to, this is the nasib, the nasib particle. Or let me even say here, yuridu, he wants. So I keep the pronoun huwa. Yuridu, he wants, and to yaf'al, yaf'ala. He wants to do it, something. Yaf'al. Yuridu an yaf'al. He wants to participate, for example. Okay. And yaf'ala. So that's the nasab particle there. So how would it be for those verbs? You'd say yuridu an yarmiya. The ya stays and takes fatha. And yuridu an yad'uwa. So yarmi, throw. He wants to throw. Yad'u, call. He wants to call or make dua. And yad'u, he wants to make dua. And as for yakhsha, can't take fatha anyway. Yuridu an yakhsha. So basically, here's what he's saying. Bismillah. Okay, you have a verb. The verb is, so the pattern is yaf'alu or yaf'al. So originally it's going to be yaf'alu. But if it were in the state of nasb, you'd say an yaf'ala. And if it were in the state of jazm, you'd say, for example, lam yaf'al. So you see how the i'rab changed there. Well, that's because this is a sound verb. Yaf'alu is a sound verb. There are no unstable letters there. So that's what would happen if it were a sound verb. But if it were not, and let's talk about here the naqis in particular, a sound verb, not a sound verb, and naqis in particular, then you'd say yadru. And yarmi. And yakhsha. Yadru, sukun. Yarmi, sukun. Yakhsha, sukun. Although really in your heart there's a dhamma there. And you'd say yuridu an yad'uwa wa yarmiya wa yakhsha. Yakhsha stays the same. And you'd say lam yad'u wa lam yarmi wa lam yakhsha. Now I just did you a favor by pronouncing the last haraka. Yani, I broke the rule because the rule is when you stop in Arabic, you stop on a sukun. But I didn't stop on sukun for your sake. Alhamdulillah. So yad'u, yarmi, yakhsha. As for if I were doing just only for myself, I'll just say yada, unless I'm slipping. Yarm, yakhsh, because that's what's correct. That's it. This is what the author's saying now. So let's go back. He said, as for the mudari', the wow and the ya and the alif of it will have sukun in the state of rafa', yani instead of a dhamma. Instead of rafa' means instead of having the dhamma. وَتُحْذَفُ فِي الْجَزْم. And those letters will be deleted in the state of Jazm instead of a sukoon. For a sound verb, then that letter will stay and we'll just take a sukoon. But since those are unstable last letters, the whole letter goes away. وَتُفْتَحُ الْوَاوُ وَالْيَاءُ فِي النَّصْبِ. And the waw and the ya, not the alif, will have a fatha in the state of nasb. وَتَثْبُتُ الْأَلِفُ سَاكِنَةً. So the way I took it is the way I just read it to you. And the alif will stay with a sukoon. Period. So it's written here in this copy. وَتَثْبُتُ الْأَلِفُ فِي حَالِ النَّصْبِ كَمَا فِي الرَّفْعِ. The alif will stay in the state of nasb just like it stays in the state of rafa. So this is what this copy says. Wallahu a'lam. We'll stop there.